Okay, sound check, sound check, sound check. My audio is being weird. So I kind of have to test it. Ko-fi.bot's here. Stream Elements is here. I feel quiet and I don't know why. Why? Okay, let's see. Is that any better? Maybe it's my headphones. Hang on. Okay, let's try that. Sound check, sound check, sound check. That's better. It was my headphones. Okay. So let me bring that back down. Okay, sorry. My audio's been screwy the past couple of days. Like, I don't understand what is going on here. For some reason, my wireless headphones, OBS, I don't know, the wireless headphones are trying to become sentient, I guess, and take over. Because, for some reason, OBS keeps thinking that my headphones are my mic. And even though the mic is lit and active, it's not showing it. And I'm like, what in the world? Oh, that's... super loud. Okay. But when I have the wired headphones, it doesn't seem to do that, so I don't know. I was fine until I muted the mic the other night. I don't know if it's something to do with that. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Well, that seems to be somewhat stable. So, hi everybody. It's Sunday. It's needle felting day. Sorry about that. We are continuing to work on our Bob Ross needle felt along. We are working on following along with episode 12 of season 3, Hidden Lake. We're almost done this season. It's only taken us, what, over 2 years to finish this? Working 1 to 2 days a week on it. Well, to be fair, when we started out, we were only doing 1 day a week. It's gone faster since we've bumped it up to 2. But it is what it is. The link is in the chat that will take you to the Bob Ross tutorial that we have down in the corner. That will take you to the Bob Ross YouTube channel where you can watch that tutorial in full without interruption, without being muted, and very much bigger than what we have it in the bottom corner. On this one, ours is going to look a little different than Bob's, just because I had to change some colors around, and I envision something a little bit different in here than he's got going on. We'll see what ends up coming to be. I might switch it to follow more of the tutorial. The sketch is a little bit different. We'll see how this plays out. Yeah, the sketch was more or less just to kind of get our colors figured out, really, and sort of scale and placement, so I could at least draw it out once so I knew what I was up against when we moved over to sketching it out here and actually putting it into existence. Sometimes that helps the brain. You'll have a tiny bit of muscle memory, tiny, to draw upon. I figured out what we're doing next Saturday as well. We're going to work on my flamingo painting that I started and didn't record, but we're going to work on finishing them, because I think that's the only way he's going to get done. I had to fix a little bit of damage that happened to him over the past couple of days that didn't seem to fix very well. Now I've got like a crack in the paint, and I tried to fix over it and it didn't really fix it, so I'm not really happy about that, but it's not so bad. It's not really picking up on camera, so that's good. I thought the canvas had ripped and I was like, oh no, but it didn't. We're good. So let's see, where were we on this guy? Alright, we need some water. And we'll just kind of slide that guy up there. Don't know if we'll need it yet. We'll see how things go here today. Might need the scissors. We'll put them over there. Alright. So hope everybody's having a good weekend. Hopefully you are. I got a little bit of editing done last night. I edited for about 2 hours. I'm not quite done that fourth live stream. I think I've got like a half hour remaining on that video that I have to edit, and I got too tired to deal with it. At that point I was like, yeah, this will keep for another day. We'll see what happens tonight. I've been trying to do a little bit of editing before I go to bed every night. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Alright. Now, when we last left off, we were working on our dirt down here. I know Bob didn't put dirt in. I know this. But because of what we're working on, and we don't, the medium we're working with the fluff, we don't have the luxury of paintbrush texture being held by the paint. We also don't have the luxury of magic white being covered all over the canvas, giving us different shades and values of whatever base color gets put down in here. He's using sap green. So it's not gonna quite work the same. So there's times where we kind of have to skirt the edge of what he's doing, or add to, or take away. Adjustments will have to be made, because this isn't the same medium, so we're gonna have to step alongside instead of follow behind. We'll get something similar. It won't be exactly the same. It's never exactly the same when I'm involved, number one, because we all see art differently. And I am not a super copy pro, which is probably a good thing. I can get it to look similar, I can get it to look close, but it's never going to be 100% a direct carbon copy. And you don't want it to be. Bob always talked about, you know, adding your own flair to stuff, and while we've been nervous to do that, I'm starting to get a bit more comfortable with branching slightly off of his. And I know that seems weird that we've been doing this for how long now and we're just feeling comfortable with that. People's art journeys with different mediums can vary with, you know, what you're comfortable with doing. So it doesn't really matter so much if it takes you longer to get comfortable with a certain medium. Like I'm guilty of doing this. I am. I think all of us are, where we start comparing ourselves to how fast other people pick up mediums or anything in general. Everybody moves at their own pace, and no matter how hard you try, you're not going to be able to move that pace faster to comfort status then it's going to happen. Like, more practice would probably help a little bit, but I think it would just be more nervous practice, or maybe that's just me. This is just how my brain operates and how it works and all that, and that's okay. I know my brain is not the same as everybody else. I am a nervous, anxious little bundle of emotions a lot of times. Like 90% of the time. Like, I am super nervous when it comes to using oil paint. But acrylic, I'm like, I'm a little nervous depending on what we're doing, but I can usually just, dive in. For some reason, oil paints and watercolors both intimidate the crap out of me. But so here, we're going to add dirt. Bob didn't add dirt. We are. I am. You don't necessarily have to if you don't want to. However, you're going to have your grass that's going to come in here really super tight to keep your base color from shining through. So up in here, we had some of our brown shining through, and I didn't try to make that happen on purpose. It just kind of happened. I would have had to been a bit more particular on how we put the grass in to keep that from happening if I hadn't done the dirt. But I like the dirt down. It feels a little more natural. Feels a little bit better being able to have that down there, and it feels a little more freeing for me when I go to put the grass in, because if I get the grass height wrong just a little bit, I don't have to go back and fiddle. Although for me it would be more like an entire hoedown trying to fix it. Right? Because I'm the type of person that tries to fix it, and then something else needs to be adjusted, then something else needs to be adjusted. I do have a little bit of a break there. Not really a break necessarily, but I do have a thin spot or gap where that gray was coming through the brown. It might not be quite so much of an issue with the grass growing in or going in on top of it, but I would like to try to get that as filled in as I can ahead of time. Sorry, they had us under high pollen. Windows 11 said high pollen. Weatherbug is like, no, just some low grass pollen. So I don't really know what's being an issue for me today. Oh, goodness. Something is. And Windows 11's weather wouldn't tell me what the type of pollen was, just that, pollen. It's probably just building up because we haven't had rain in a little bit now. and everybody's been frantically cutting their hay fields as fast as they can. We've been seeing bales and bales and bales of hay on some of the farms from the road as far as the eye can see. And it's been a little bit windy, so... And then they've been transporting the hay around and picking it up and shaking it around, and I'm just like, no. Please, no. So I'm not overly surprised. Plus, we have Timothy hay in the house for the guinea pigs. We have it in a sealed storage container, and I didn't feed the pigs today. The husband did. Hay, touching it makes my hands itch. Something awful. I love the cute little fur balls, but their food doesn't love me. Alright. I am probably gonna have to... Well, no, I know for a fact I'm gonna have to fluff more of this color. There's a lot of colors that we need to refill. I have to have the time to do it. Time has been tight lately. I mean, 2 hours of working on editing last night. I think I was at 2 hours and... Was it 20 minutes? Something like that on that video left to get through. And I still have a half an hour to go on it. Half hour, 40 minutes, something like that. I can't remember if it's like 30 minutes or 38 minutes. I've been catching up on some live streams that I can edit and listen to in the background. I have to have something going on in the background, or my brain refuses to even attempt to cooperate. There has to be something, music, something going on. For me to get through the editing there. I envy people that can just sit there and focus on one thing and be done. I don't know how you do it. But my hat is greatly, greatly off too. Everybody's finding ways to stay cool in this heat, because boy has it been hot. Like Summer is coming in hard and fast. No soft landing here. My peas outside that we grew for the guinea pigs are not happy. No amount of water is saving them. I think they're just too hot. Even my elephant ears look a little bit wilted. But I think they just need a really good soaking. I'm not sure if we watered today yet. I don't think we did yet. Those guys need a fair bit of water. So I don't know how long today's live stream is going to be. My neck was a bit angry when I got up. It's still not really great, but we're gonna see, because I wanted to get some work done on this. And if we weren't working on this, then I'd probably be doing some painting. But I would rather try to get some work done on this guy. I did not get the stretcher bars. I did not get the dowel rod primed last night. Just didn't. I knew it probably wasn't going to happen. And sorry we ended up cutting the live stream a little early last night with the husband doing Diablo. He had a rough day and he was just like so done with the day. He's like, no. And I asked him if he even wanted to bother. I was like, we don't have to. And he's like, no, we should try to keep the schedule. So we did manage to get a little bit of playtime in on those guys. We got some of his glyphs leveled. Would have liked to have gone a little bit longer, and I could have gone a little bit longer solo, but then Momo was getting mad, so I was like, alright, fine. And then we cut the stream, or I did, and I went to go get Momo out, and then he wouldn't get up, and I'm like, sir, excuse you. Like, I just cut that early for you, fussy pants. Now, let's go. And then he's like, well, I don't have to go anymore. He's also really mad that he hasn't been able to go and wander across the street, but we're so afraid these two cats are gonna get hit by a car now. So they've not been happy coping with staying in our yard, and the one cat follows the dogs whenever we go across the street, so we had to stop that. We don't know why she follows them across the street. We weren't sure if she was like, oh, family outing, I'm gonna come too. Or if it was more of she was seeing where they were going potty, so she was marking the territory. We just don't know. Because when the husband and I cross the street without the dogs, she doesn't follow us. So it has nothing to do, or it doesn't seem to have anything to do with him and I. But everything to do with them. So I don't really know what to make of that. I mean, it's kind of cute, but also kind of terrifying, so we've had to really watch our old habits with them. I'm just kind of filling in along the edge of our tape here because we didn't quite get right up against it, at least not in any manner that I am happy with. Excuse me. Okay, that's a little better. I keep missing and the water keeps falling off of my finger before I get over to our spot here. I get over to my palm. Alright. Man, oh man, my voice is just shot today. I don't know what's going on. It's gotta be the allergies. Like, it has to be. You okay? Husband dropped a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure if the microphone picked it up. It probably did, because when I was turning the sound up earlier, it picked up all the noise from the kitchen. So it's going to be a little bit before I can get the edit done on the oil painting. I'd probably have to pause in the middle of the edit I'm working on right now. And I can, but I think I might hold that video. Like, I'll get it done. I'm going to try to get it done. But I might try to hold that going live until we're away, so you guys have something you haven't seen before. And then that will more than likely be just on the YouTube channel. And even though we're going to be away in September, there is going to be somebody at the house. The mother-in-law will be back. So it's not like nobody's going to be here, because she's going to be here taking care of the doggos and the pigs. . So, and then his aunt will probably be in the backyard with the RV as well, and that means the Doberman and the Shih Tzu will be back. All that stuff. The zoo will be at full capacity once again. I mean, we're technically already at full capacity, but we'll be, I guess, at overflow capacity. Technically. Okay. So, we've got that pathway in. Or we got our dirt in. We haven't done the pathway yet. I'm not sure when I'm doing the pathway yet. I think we are going to advance our video here. So, let's see what Bob's up to. Okay, so he's gonna put this evergreen in. I would be making the biggest of messes trying to do this. Trying to see where he brings the bottom of this. He just kind of brings it down into nothing, right? So he's getting some brown. And then there's certain parts of it where he's adding a trunk. And then he's highlighting, but he doesn't take the trunk visibly all the way down. Which is kind of fascinating. He just kind of lets it fall off into nothing. So we kind of have to figure out what we're gonna do with this. And like how we're gonna handle it. Okay, so he's got another tree in there, which is what I'm more curious about. Okay, so he starts over here. Now, I didn't put that tree in. We might... Yeah, I'm gonna pause that for a second and just, I'm gonna skip around. Really? Okay. So... I had one of those teardrop trees in there. Because I was like, oh, this might make life a little easier. He's kind of dropped that evergreen in there. Sorry, I'm thinking of what I want to do here. We could... Hunter green. I'm just looking at my notes here. So the pine tree, I've got chocolate brown for trunk, hunter green, forest green for the highlights. Far left tree. Okay, so that would be the teardrop tree. Hunter green and light green. And then this front tree. Far left, middle tree. What? Middle tree, because unless I meant far right, because there's no middle tree. So what exactly am I talking about? Is a very good question. Grass in front of the lake. Okay. Oh, I reversed those colors, didn't I? That we did. Oh, no, we didn't. We haven't put it in yet. Okay. So... Alright, let's start with our pine tree. So the pine tree is going to be a hunter green base. So that color we are very much done with. Let's see. Hunter green is probably the very bottom of the bucket. Yep. Alright. Excuse me. Okay. Kofi Bot's having fun. Alright. Now. I'm going to attempt to get this guy figured out here, because this is important. I need to try to stretch this out without snapping it. Okay, so if this guy's gonna live maybe there-ish. So I'm just kind of putting this in. So that I have a point of reference here to work off of, to try to keep this guy somewhat straight. Like, he can be a little wobbly and slightly wobbly, would probably be okay. You know? Like, we can have a little bit of wobble. But we also want to make sure that we're not wobbling so much that we fall down, right? So we all know me and straight lines. They don't really happen. So let's see what we can attempt to make happen here. Do you have your timer going, or are you done? I'm just making sure you remembered. How's it going so far?
Okay.
The pan cooperating?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know it kind of looks like I just put the trunk in, but that's not going to be the trunk. Let's see, we were like this, so we're this way. Okay. Now, how do I want to... How do I want to? I don't know. There's a couple of ways we could attempt to go after this guy. We could do little V's. Where we've got it like kind of hanging all out there. I mean, we could try that. Let's see. Where does that put us? Probably gonna need to be a little bit wider than that. So let me see about trying to figure this out here. Well, that's a little big, to say the least. Alright. That's still a bit big, but it might be okay here. So with this guy, I think we might start at the bottom. And attempt to work our way up here. That might be the easiest way to go about this. I don't know for sure yet. Kind of depends on a few things. So it's probably going to be a little bit messy. If we do it this way. So it's not a very sharp V, it's more like a stretched out U, I guess. Maybe like think umbrella shape. Kinda, sorta. Alright. So this piece is gonna definitely be a little long. So maybe we snip that there. Okay. Why is that itchy? Okay. So I would like alternate which side has the elbow on it if you're gonna do this longer piece method and fold it over, just to try to get the extra fluffy side alternated a bit there. I'm not sure how this is gonna work out really here. We're gonna see how it goes. Hang on, I need to put something on my hand here. Something has started irritating it. And I'll just keep scratching it and scratching it until it's raw, so. Let's just put some stuff on it now. Okay. So to give that a second to soak in. Okay. So this guy, he's a little bit shorter. He's probably gonna go about there-ish. Probably. I mean, I could have tried to take him down a little bit further, but I didn't want to go too skinny too soon. We do have a little bit of ground to cover here still. Not sure how I'm gonna like this. The other alternative was to just grabbing bits of fluff. And kind of making a pine tree similar to what we did in our line painting we did with the river and like the canyon in the background and stuff. So for that, kind of have to start up at the top. And just kind of work our way down. Just kind of see which way you prefer. I mean, or you could also like make a felty snake, fluffy snake, whatever, fiber snake, and kind of like pre-lay it out all in one piece where, you know, anchor the end and then kind of just zigzag it really tightly back and forth. I'm not sure how that's gonna come out. That would more than likely just be more or less personal preference on how you want to handle that. Because we still need to highlight this guy. Kind of thinking it might be a little bit faster if you're on like a real bad time crunch to do our little like V umbrella shape things. Kind of, sorta. Not sure which method I really like better. It's like that guy's a little bit long, but maybe not. Because you're gonna lose a little bit of fluff length as you stab in here. So it's not too terribly out of the ordinary long. Now, if you're unsure of your length, you can always take a section and tap in the middle, and then work on getting the one side tapped in. Alright, and then you can always like come back and trim the other side a bit. So this method feels like it has a much greater potential to have a lot more air in between the branches. If you're not paying a whole lot of attention, maybe you want a lot of air on your branches. It's just something to be aware of as I'm sitting here noticing how this guy is going in. Now, if you don't like how much air is there, you can always come back with some more fluff and fix it. Okay. So we're going to need quite a bit more of our hunter green here. He's not being too generous when we got started with it, but we'll see how we go here a bit. Don't forget to change and vary the length of your tree boughs here. Boughs, branches. I don't know what the difference is between them. Are they technically the same thing? Are they not? That I don't fully know. So let's see here. Trying to be a little bit careful with how this is going in. So we don't get too carried away. In any one area. Like, I know we still have you know, good ways to go on some of this. I'm not really sure where our tree here is going to take us. We'll see what happens. So this guy's probably a little long. It's a little too airy down in that one spot there, so I just wanted to fill that in just a little bit. Don't forget, we want to give these boughs and branches some direction. We don't just want them straight across. I mean, if that's your art style, then that's your art style. With these straight across trees. I could see that being a style. Okay. So we do have a little bit of water peeking through in the background in that particular spot. So these are going to be trees that you're going to just have to fuss with. And kind of figure it out. To see how you want the body to fill in. Just remember, you want to be skinnier towards the top. And a little bit wider towards the bottom. And if your tree feels a little lopsided or off, or you think there's a little too much air, you can just add some more fluff back in. It's not like some written rule somewhere that you can't. I am sure that we will probably end up adding a bit more fluff to this guy before we decide to start to highlight him. And I definitely want to add a bit more in here, because I feel like we've got a bigger gap than I necessarily want there to be that low down. Like if that was a bit higher up in the tree, I'd be a little bit more okay with letting that go. But only a little bit more. Okay. Wow, we've just kind of melted that side of the tree into oblivion. That's okay, because we have the power to fix that guy. Harder to work with smaller pieces for me. My hands don't quite want to do what they're supposed to. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. That feels a little better. Alright, so this guy, I think I'm gonna anchor about there. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about this brown peeking through down in here. I don't even know if the camera's picking it up. Because we're going to have our grasses and stuff and some shrubs down here eventually. So I don't think that's really going to be too much of an issue. I think our other friends will more than likely cover that up. Did you finish?
Mm-hmm.
How'd it come out?
Good. If you have any plans for tomorrow about leaving the house, ignore them. Just got a heat advisory for tomorrow. Expected heat index of 107.
I don't think we had plans to go anywhere.
Well, we certainly don't now. I'll think on if there's anything you need from the store tonight. It can wait till later.
Are we okay on pig food for tomorrow?
Should be.
I know we're getting really low on lettuce. Like, I don't necessarily think there's enough lettuce for tonight and tomorrow night. So we either need to get 2 bags of the lettuce mix.
Alright, so get lettuce tonight, got it.
Or another head, I think. Because I grabbed a couple leaves off of that head for their snack last night. I mean, there might be just enough, but... Hi, Momo. Oh, it's Momo o'clock. Right. Well, it's Momo o'clock, so we will be right back, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and run some ads. If Momo's gonna keep wanting to go out every hour, I might just turn the every hour ad thingy on and just preemptively take him. But, I don't want to get into that habit with him. Because he's very internal clocky. All you have to do is do something once out of the ordinary and he thinks that's the way it's gonna be. So let me go ahead and... we are gonna run that ad break and we'll be right back. Okay. I'm back as of probably long since finished. Alright. That's the wrong finger. Okay. So now I'm gonna pick back up where we left off here. Well, we're gonna try to put it that way. Alright. A stabbing we will go on our project here. Tell you, it feels pretty hot out there today. We have to make an adjustment on the one thermometer out there. We should probably match it to the other one. We've got two now. Because the one's reading, like, way high. I don't know if it just kind of gave up or what exactly happened. But it definitely needs to be adjusted. For sure. That side doesn't really need it, I don't think. I think that should be okay. Okay. Get those loose ends tapped into there. So some of this background is like gonna seep through. It just is. So we either just have to be okay with it, or is she awake?
No, she's napping.
Okay.
A lot of stuff.
I didn't know if she wanted what I was making for dinner or if she wants your soup for dinner.
She wants a cup of soup with dinner. I might give her one with 2 cups of soup.
I was gonna say, for someone that says I give her too much food, like, I didn't know if she just wanted a roll and some soup or if she wanted what I'm making, because she can't always eat what I'm making. You think I can cook those chicken breasts from frozen in the oven?
You can try, but I think you'll have trouble. Because by the time the center cooks, I think it'll burn on the outside.
Sorry, I'm already trying to plot dinner tomorrow. Trying to think of what I can do that would be the least heat-inducing for the kitchen.
Something in a salad could go something relatively easy to cook.
Something in a salad? I don't have anything.
I know, I'd have to get salad stuff. I'm just throwing out a suggestion.
So I wasn't sure if I could cook that chicken tonight when it's not going to be as hot as tomorrow, but because it's better in the oven than when I cook it in the pan. Unless it was just that particular chicken that time, because it came out kind of rubbery when I cooked it in the pan last time. But I wasn't sure if that was just me or not. I have burgers. I could make instant mashed potatoes with them. It's not the same as french fries, but then I wouldn't have to light the oven. We could do beef cubes and rice tomorrow, but then that means steam building up all day from the beef cubes cooking. I mean, I guess we could do burgers and a salad, but I have no salad stuff. I don't know, what do you want for dinner tomorrow?
I'd be okay with that idea.
But do we even have money to get salad stuff?
Yeah.
That was not a very confidence feeling. Yeah.
Yes, I'm comfortable getting salad for tomorrow.
Are we supposed to be doing game night tonight?
I have no idea.
It's like the length of your branches, boughs, whatever you want to refer to them as, can be a little different on each side, but I would try not to make them too much longer than like the ones down here. Just because of the type of tree it is. Don't normally see like exaggeratedly large guys up there. Alright. I mean, it's pretty toasty outside now, and it's 93. I don't know, what does our feels like right now? I lost my knee pad there. So our local weather is saying it's 92 with a feels like of 103. Windows 11 is saying it's 93, and I don't know what the feels like is. I would definitely agree with the the 103 feels like, for sure. So we have to figure out when we're going to start to shorten our branches here. On this guy. And this guy, I'm gonna just gently attempt to stretch out. That's probably a little too pulled out there, but we'll see. See how it starts to feel. All right. Now, work on getting our next bit of our tree in place. So I'm not sure what would be easier at this point, if we start to lengthen from here, or if we start to shorten from there. I want to add another branch like up into here, but we'll see what happens above that. So I might not necessarily need to. I have to see here. How this decides to play out. I know we are a factor in how this is playing out, but at the same time, the fiber does kind of become its own thing. Okay. I don't think I want to go too much longer than that. We'll have to see, you know, as with everything, how it's going to look as we get a bit further. I might have to add in a branch or two here and there, depending on the side that we are looking at, but we still have time to get this one side a little bit more filled in from stuff up here. It kind of depends on how those guys decide to lay. So far, so good. I mean, it is a little bit of a time-consuming tree, but it's also a big tree. So that is a little something to keep in mind there. Okay. Got this little guy here. Yeah, I probably should put him up a little bit further. But we can always add a slightly longer one over top of it if we really need to. Don't know yet. We'll figure that out as we get there. I mean, right now it's a pretty strange looking tree. I mean, that much is a given. Let's see what we can do here. All right. That guy kind of got a little straight across on us. Not too bad though. It's not too out of the ordinary there. See how we do here. It was a little bit of a longer piece, but we did get him in there pretty good. That's not so bad. So he's starting to come to life here a little bit. I like the top more than the bottom, but I wasn't real sure if I was going to get my spacing quite right if we started at the top. I probably would have, it just would have taken a little more care, I guess. Let's see, where do we want end of this guy hanging out? Probably a couple more branches down here, just to make sure that we are filled in all right. Okay. Alright, up next we've got this guy. Momo, you're a little early. You have a few more minutes, my guy. It's not quite time yet. You have 15 more minutes. Well, that's between you and Daddy then. I don't even know if Dad knows you're there.
Oh, I know he's there. He's always there.
Not all the time. He did go lay down for 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Hi. He definitely wants you, though.
No, go lay down. I'll take you out a little bit.
He's still having potty trouble. I'm beginning to think this is just the way it's going to be. I was hoping we'd get this straightened out before we had to leave in September, so his mom didn't have to deal with him having to do special food and stuff. But as of right now, it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. Alright, so we've got like the ridgy bump there. Unless it's just where we're at on the pad. It could have just been if it was sitting on the pad. Alright. So I do have a slight bump around in here. Just from us constantly pulling up from that area, which is why we try to move around on the pad there. So I think for this one, I'm gonna wrap that piece back around. Just to kind of fill in that section, because that was a little bit thinner than I really wanted it to be. It's touching me. I think I've got fuzz making a break for it here. Like little tiny fuzzy flyaways. Alright. So we'll try to get one more branchy guy worked in on this side. Just to fill that in a little bit more. where I'm a bit happier with that. Like, I don't want it completely solid, because if we wanted it completely solid, we would have just, like, made a triangle and just filled it in and been done with it. But not exactly what I was looking for here, so we will try to do it a slightly different way. Oh, the one side of my tree looks vastly different from the other. It happens sometimes, more often than not when I'm in charge of the stabbing, but, you know, it's a tree. It's slowly turning into a tree. For sure. I might have gone a little short a little soon. But we'll see. Oh, that's our water line poking through down there. Okay. Just working on getting our fluff snake to where I am happy with it. Okay. This guy about that long. Okay. So we've definitely got quite a lot of layers of fluff here. Alright, so this guy maybe about there. And really what I'm shooting for is just, recognizably A, a tree, and B, hoping for definitely a pine tree. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I do kind of think maybe we came in a little bit soon. Let's see if we can maybe try to fluff this guy out just a little bit. If we can. So, I mean, we still have a little bit of ground to make up here. So we'll see how this goes. Alright, so if I snip you about there. Alright, so then I got this little tiny guy, right? And, don't really want to discard him because he is still fairly usable. Okay. I'm gonna brush this down here just to help smooth him out a bit. So we are getting a little bit of an indent going on the front. That looks a little better. Okay. So now, let's see. Let's start. Where do we want to be? Guess we'll come back down to here again. lengthen that a little bit. Feels like we're short a little early now. I guess we could come back, excuse me, up to here. So if you don't have the finger protectors, right, which I do strongly recommend, you could try to use a straight pin to hold that in place so your fingers aren't in the way. I don't know how well that's gonna go, but it's an option to try. So the top of our tree, we might end up losing part of it when we come back in here. Momo, give me just 1 second, okay? Give me 1 second, my guy. I'll be right with you. Thank you for waiting at least for the full hour.
Okay.
I'm coming, I'm coming.
Well, he probably wants outside time, so. If someone likes to sit in the heat, standing shelter next to him, yeah. I know, you're an old man. You're an old man, I know.
Do you want your towel? It's in the bathroom.
No. Come on, my old man.
We need to water at some point today. Those elephant ears are looking droopy.
Yeah, I'll probably do that real quick while I'm out there.
Alright, so if we kind of do that, I think I'm gonna need to add another little bit of a guy. Well, no, maybe we're okay. No, I can let that one go. These trees can tend to be a little bit thinner towards the tops of them. At times here. Okay. I know the tree still looks a little extra weird. We're getting there. This is a tree where you just kind of have to, you know, trust it. And we still have to highlight this guy too, so I don't know how the highlights are gonna go. will depend. The highlights kind of stop higher up. Okay. So this guy. Start to get worked in here. And just kind of feeling it out here. Seeing where the fiber wants to go, what it wants to do. How thick or thin it's going to be as we're stabbing it into place here. Ooh, it's up to 95 now. Ick. Yeah, heat advisory. Yeah, is this a current heat advisory or from noon to 9 p.m. on Monday? So this is what he was talking about earlier. So it's currently 95, feels like 104 according to that. Let me see what our local is saying. Our local is saying it's 93 and feels like it's 105. So the Windows 11 and Windows 11 and the local aren't too off of each other, but I think I would trust the local weather temperature more than Windows 11 right now.
Oh yeah.
So it's 93 with a feels like of 105 currently.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay. So we'll get this guy worked into here. We'll say it's getting kind of warm in our room. We're not really on the central air conditioning system in this room. We kind of sort of have to rely on fans to push the air conditioning in the house this way. We could have put a window unit in, but I mean, we can kind of make do. I really don't want to run up the electric bill more than it already is if we didn't necessarily have to. The electric bill is pretty high. Since we have both computers running, we've had a fan running for a good amount of time. It is pretty warm in here right now. I might have to put my desk fan on. I was trying to avoid that so it wasn't blowing on the microphone. I might just have to make an adjustment to it so it's not too obnoxious, but it's getting a little sticky. In here, and it's only 2:30. We're not even at peak warmth for the day yet. Oh my goodness. Alright, so we're going to start to elongate this one. I know we're sideways at the moment. It was just being a little more helpful to have it facing that way at the moment. Okay. Alright, so it's coming together. You can kind of see it filling in. I might have to come back down in here. Because that is kind of airy. I don't know if I really want it to be that airy, but you know, maybe we'll just leave it be. Maybe it'd be better to not fuss that too much. All right. Getting this worked into here. You know, as best as we can. It's not gonna be super, super perfect. I want to give me a little bit of wiggle room there to account for, you know, shrinkage. Not really shrinkage, but you know, fiber pull, right? So it's gonna get a little bit shorter as it gets tucked in. So it's okay and probably better practice to have it a little bit longer than you think you need. Okay. So let me see. Yep, this is definitely easier doing it this way. I can see it a little bit better. For sure. Alright, so now I'm going to have to look at the length of where we're at on both of these guys. Like this side we need to start, or this section we need to start shortening a little bit. We don't have to start dramatically shortening, but we do need to start that process. If we can here. Okay. Get this guy popped into there. And this tree here looks like it could use another little pass by, so we'll do that. Alright. So take this guy over to here. Uh-oh. That song abruptly cut off Spotify. That was strange. I don't know if that song just stops that suddenly, or if it had trouble playing it. I don't remember hearing that one before. Say, oh, okay. I guess. Alright, so we've almost got the top section filled in. Almost. Alright, so I'm just gonna brush this guy down. Try to flatten him out a little bit. And I'm gonna change how I'm sitting here. I'm gonna try to change how I'm sitting. Ooh, leg stretches. Let's take a moment while I'm doing some leg stretches, excuse me, to see how we're looking here. we still have to finish filling in that little bit there. We're not too bad. I'm trying not to be concerned too much with down in here, because there's going to be some shrubs. We've got another tree coming in here. I'm not quite sure how we're going to shape that tree yet. We'll figure that out when we get there. More than likely. Like, I don't think we're gonna figure it out too far in advance, because I had the teardrop tree shape, kind of like what we have in the background. Bob is using a slightly different shape than that, which I didn't quite realize when we were doing our layout. Or I realized it after the fact, and at that point I was like, well, this is what we're gonna go with now. It was one of those two options. Knowing me, it was probably the second one. Just to have it a little bit easier to shape. So now, let's see here. So we still need to get some more of our hunter green going here. So let's grab that. Okay. Whew. All right. Just gonna try to gently see if we can stretch this guy out a little bit. I feel like he would have been a little too thick for what we were trying to accomplish here. Alright. Let's see here. Let's get this guy popped in. It's a little hard to see the hunter green placement. So we do have some of that deep purple right behind where we're tapping into. But it's all good. I mean, you can kind of see the outer edges taking shape there. And filling in. Did you turn the heat off on the stove?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure how done you were. I didn't know if you had left it on to simmer or...
No, I've already put it away.
Okay. One more, I think will do it at the top of this guy. potentially. I think I do want to add a little bit more in there, just because that's a lot of purple kind of coming through there. A little bit more than I necessarily wanted there to be in that exact spot. Like a little bit's okay. That's a good chunk there. I mean, it's broken up a little bit by the purple on top of it, but I feel that we can fill that in a little bit better. So, I mean, we're not doing too bad. Alright, let's grab another chunk of our purple here. I do feel a little bad that we've been mostly working on just this tree, but it can happen. This tree's a little bit time consuming. Alright. Yeah, maybe one more bit in there. And I think I'll do another one right there. And then we can start marching back downward and filling in this last bit of a gap here. Okay, and then this guy, I guess I can take out to there. That should be fine. Excuse me. Okay. Now, let's see about filling in the last bit of our gap here. If we can. We should be able to. We should more than be able to fill this in. Because that's a heck of a lot of branches missing, right? Like, there would be a story behind that. There would have to be. order for that tree to still be standing. And to have made it quite that long. Like, was it a beaver dare or just some deranged lumberjack that, like, nope, I only want to cut those branches. Maybe they were sculpting the size Christmas tree that they wanted, and they're gonna come back in the winter and check on it and see if they can just cut the top off while the rest of it keeps growing. Does it work like that? Will the bottom half still keep growing if you cut the top of the tree off? Alright. So let's start to get this next bit worked into here. There's a pretty long piece there that we grabbed. Probably longer than we necessarily needed, but you know. We're here now, so this is just where we're going with this. Now, I didn't get the painting from yesterday sealed yet. I haven't decided what I'm gonna seal it with yet. Not sure if I'm gonna brush seal it or spray seal it. I like the look of the spray sealer a little bit better. But there's been so many flies and bugs and stuff around lately that I'm kind of concerned they will land in the spray sealer while it's drying. And I don't have a small enough, I don't have a screen box that I can put over it to keep that from happening with small enough holes in the mesh. I mean, I suppose I could make one if it really came to it. Or we could try to seal it in Mod Podge. Or I can just get some more of the other brush sealer I would like to get some of that in matte if I can find it. Because all I have now is like the ultra gloss stuff. And I don't like doing too glossy of a finish on the paintings, because then I feel like there's a bit of a glare on it and you can't really see it as well. We're getting there. I mean, it kind of looks like a pine tree. Not the greatest pine tree there ever was, but it definitely looks pine tree-esque. Okay. So let's just work on getting our next bit of branches in here. We're almost done with the base of this tree. And then we can figure out our trunk situation. So we haven't quite gotten there yet. Maybe we should have started at the top after all and just worked our way down. Kind of feeling the top a little bit more. Than the bottom of this guy, but you know, we don't do these pine trees very often. I think the last set we did was one of the winter scenes. That was some time ago. At least it feels like it was some time ago. Probably that snowy cabin where we had the sky, the navy blue. That might have been the last time we did these kinds of trees. I think I did them a little bit differently. I think I did it just like the diagonal bits of fluff, similar to our line painting that we did a little while ago. Gonna brush that down. We're getting closer. The gap is almost filled in. Almost. I am almost out of tea. So that's not real good. Okay. All of the crunching. All of it. Tell you, today's one of those days where if we had a pool, we would probably be out in it and not moving. They're a lot of work. And a lot of money. And there's so many bugs around here, we couldn't even really do a kiddie pool that doesn't have a filter because there'd be bugs all over it by morning and we'd have to dump the water. It's not something we could leave the water in overnight. So that would totally wreck the water bill. But it's okay. Alright, so we're just gonna brush this back down again. So not too bad, though. I do think we need to make this a little bit longer now. Okay. Alright, let's get back in here. Get to finishing up this tree, or at least this part of the tree. Tree's not ready to be finished yet. We still have to pop our trunk on this guy. And then we have to and grab our highlighty color. I think we have enough of the highlighty color for now. We might not. I might have to fluff some more of that color. That kind of depends here. I think I know what bin that ball of yarn is in. So we're starting to try to elongate this section. Wow, the walls of the house are vibrating from that car going by. And its stereo being quite so thumpy. That's kind of disturbing. Getting closer, we're probably gonna have to pull out, well, we might not. Let's see, we might need to pull out a little bit more fluff. But on second thought, our tree's all kinds of crooked. That's alright though. It might not be quite so noticeable once we get this guy all put together here. Oh no, we might have enough. Maybe. Maybe. Or we might just be slightly shy of what we need here. Let's see. I don't know if I can get two more out of this. Maybe. 2 to 3 if we're lucky. Oh. That piece just kind of became its own entity here, huh? Alright. Well, let's get you mushed in here. Oh good, that folded over nicely. I was getting ready to have to snip that, but that's okay. That decided to kind of cooperate at the last second. Which, you know, helpful. helpful. So this side is pretty well filled in here for the most part. Our last bit of fluff and stuff here, I'm gonna see if we can fold that over. See if we can't just use it to fill in that gap there. Alright, that's not too bad. Alright, let's take a look at what we got here on the front side of our tree. So it's a little, okay, I want to actually try to see if we can even that out just a bit. Just give me 1 second here. Okay. Because, yeah, that's a little odd looking. So I don't want to get too crazy trying to fill that out, but it is a little strange in that particular spot. Let's see if we can do a little something with it. So I was a little worried that was going to be a little thin right there widthwise. So if we can just fill that out ever so slightly. I think we'll be in a little bit better shape here. Okay. I don't think we'll have to do too many. But I do think we could stand to use a couple in here. Well, that didn't quite do what I was hoping it would. Tell you what, how about you kind of pop into there then. And then we'll take another look at this and see how we feel about things. Alright. Excuse me 1 second. I just need to grab something. Just give me 1 second, everybody. Okay. Let's see how that does here. Alright. The strange smell is something I did, in case you smell it. I'm starting to get a heat rash, so... Or it felt like the itchy beginnings of a heat rash, so I wanted to put some stuff on that real super quick. Alright, so I think like right in here maybe. And then maybe one more, like right in through here. That might do it. Potentially. Okay, maybe one more piece. Just to fill in this gap. Like right in through here. And then we'll reevaluate how we feel. I think that might have patched that up and evened that out a bit better. Still looks all sorts crooked on the back, but well, it is definitely a crooked tree. I think we might have to keep going with it though. Because the top of it's filled in pretty nicely. And the bottom kind of looks like trash now, so it's like, I wasn't completely happy with how that bottom filled in to begin with. It did feel a little see-through. Like, I'm okay with some parts. Like, you know, there's some see-through parts up in here, but like the whole middle of the tree, where it should be a little bit more solid. Excuse me. not stab ourselves with the scissors. So that's not going to be helpful at all. So we'll try to snip all of that guy. I just want to make sure that we are in fact attached. Alright, I don't know how far... Oh, well, we might have to go all the way till we get to the bottom of this guy. Alright. So now, let's see, where's that fit? Kind of about there. Alright, that's looking pretty good there. Now, this guy, slap you down about so. It's really what we're working on now. It's just kind of filling in the middle gaps here. And we can kind of see the arc in this when you're up close on it. Arc the fibers are in, making sort of our umbrella shapes, our opened umbrella shapes. Okay. Ooh. Uh-oh. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. I was afraid to move my chair. Okay. And my chair keeps eating my throw rug that I have down underneath of it. Whew. That's not fun. That's not fun at all. Okay. I will say, the hotter it's getting outside, the hotter it's getting in here. Unless I'm just hot. I tend to be always hot anymore. It seems. Okay. We don't appear to be damaged, so that's good. I was gonna say, I don't think I ran over it with my chair, I just dropped it. Okay. So that's looking a little bit more solid. A bit more like the pine tree it's supposed to be. I'm sorry this guy took so long to put in today, but you know, sometimes I'm just not sure how I want to do it until I see how it's going in. Because these trees are a little more daunting for me. They shouldn't be. Because in theory, you know the shape they should be already. But for some reason, they just are. Let's see here. Alright, maybe just a little bit more. Maybe one more piece like right there. I mean, we're pretty well filled in. At least up to this point. Okay. So I'm not going to worry too much about the base of the tree because we are going to have other stuff kind of sitting in front of it. So we've got our shrubs that are going to be trying to take over here. So I think we might be, well, yeah, we might be okay. We might go just a little bit more on that. So just a little bit. Okay. So there were just a few more gaps down in here that I was like, no, this is fine. And then I'm like, we probably should just fill those in. I don't want to get lazy about it. It will show later if we did. You know, you can't tell if where you are is starting to get too warm or warmer, or if it's you. I'm pretty sure it is in fact getting warmer in this room now because the water bottle I had sitting next to the dog's water bowl just expanded in the temperature change. Because I haven't touched that bottle in over 24 hours, so it seems strange that it would pick now to start popping and cracking. $96 currently. We're gonna have that other tree kind of sitting over here, and I think it's gonna overlap the edge of this guy. Is what I'm thinking. So I think we're okay to leave. Alright, yeah, that looks a bit better, I think. We're a little crooked up here, but you know what? Trees don't tend to grow super straight anyway. It does give it a little more character. We'll just have to make sure that we do our trunk a little bit crooked there. Let me tuck that color back in our bucket. Dang it. I'm getting all fumble-handed again. My goodness. Alright, now we could use the darker brown for this tree trunk. We could. Probably should. But I want this color. Okay, so remember, we're gonna do a couple of breaks in this. Like Bob did. Or at least we're gonna try. don't know if we'll be super successful in pulling it off. But we can certainly attempt. Alright, now Bob kind of has his trunk stop. Kind of towards the bottom. Which is a little bit of a surprise. Usually he likes to bring the trunk all the way down, but I think that's because there's another tree sitting there. I'm going to put it in, and if it gets covered, it gets covered. Okay, and I want there to be just a little bit more of the trunk visible. Up here, because we lost a little bit of it due to how thin our string of fluff got. Okay, so we'll pop that in. Okay, so I think we're gonna stop there today because I am getting really hot. And we've been going for about 3.5 hours. I think we're fine to stop a little bit early today. Tomorrow we will put the highlight on the trunk and get this guy highlighted. And we'll see about putting in the other tree over here. But that will be a matter for tomorrow. So I hope everybody has a good evening. Try to stay cool out there. And hope your Monday goes well and the start of your week goes well. If I don't see you, we should be back tomorrow. Working on this guy again. So, hopefully I'll see you guys then. Don't forget to follow the socially links down below to the X, Twitter, the Instagram, the Ko-fi, and the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel has most of the live streams archived over there, and occasionally you'll see something pop up over there that we didn't actually live stream. It does happen from time to time. So don't forget to give that a look-see, and feel free to subscribe over there. It is free to do so there. It's similar to the follow here. So I will see everybody tomorrow, hopefully. Have a good start to your week, and until next time.